Are you nervous to get on a call with a potential client? If you're introverted like me, you most likely are. And one of the first things that clients do on these calls is say, "So, tell me about yourself." And if you've ever been on a job interview or even a networking event or just meeting new people in general, there's pretty much nothing worse than somebody saying, "Tell me about yourself." Pretty much everything you know to be true about yourself completely leaves your mind when somebody asks this question. So, talking about yourself and your background, especially when you're new, can be so nerve wracking if you don't have a ton of experience to talk about in this client call. You might be wondering, well, what do I talk about? So, today I want to tell you how you can create something called an elevator pitch. It's basically just a short sentence that explains who you are and what you do. And what it does is allow you to feel more confident and for the client to immediately know what it is you do, why they're talking to you, and then they can ask you more high quality questions beyond just tell me about yourself. So as you can see right here, I have the three components of an effective elevator pitch laid out for you. So the first thing you're going to say is what type of writing you do and what industry you do it in. So a lot of the times on my calls, I just say I'm a freelance copywriter specifically in the B2B technology niche. And what that tells them is that I do copywriting and that I do it specifically for the industry that they're in. Now, number two is explaining why you're a good fit for the role. So, if pet care was your niche, you could say, well, I've spent so many years caring for pets. I am always reading up on, new industry trends, and I've just become so knowledgeable in this niche that I'm really able to write as a subject matter expert for publications like yours. And obviously, you're going to want to tailor that to your industry, your niche, but you want to really drive home why you are able to write in that industry. And it doesn't have to be because you're an experienced writer. At this point of the game, even if you're new, what you're talking about is your knowledge. What is your ability to understand their target audience, to understand their strategy, to understand why they're hiring a writer to begin with? You want to really pitch yourself as a valuable asset to their writing strategy. And by talking about your expertise, you're saying, hey, I can write as an expert, I can connect with your audience because I specialize in this niche. You don't have to say because I'm experienced in your niche, because I've worked in your niche. Obviously, for me, it was a little easier because I had actually sold technology to businesses before I made my way over to copywriting. So I could very easily just say to my clients, hey, I've sold to these people. I understand how they tick. But for you, if you don't have industry experience, you just have to really convey your knowledge, your passion, your curiosity, why you're excited to write in their industry and for their clients. Now, number three is talking about who else you've written for. And if you don't have prior writing experience, you'll just talk about what else you've written. Now, you might be saying to yourself, well, I have not written before. I have not worked for any clients. I'm brand new. Understood. I started from scratch too, literally started my freelance business from zero. What you want to be able to convey here is if you don't have clients to name drop, you want to talk specifically about a portfolio piece that you've written. So in my course, 30 Days to Paid, I teach you a framework of how to get yourself set up online. It's about choosing your niche, making sure it's profitable, making sure that it's a high paying niche with a lot of demand. I teach you how to build your website, how to set up your LinkedIn profile, and really create this very solid online presence that does a lot of the marketing and selling for you before you even get on a call with these clients. But something I recommend in that presence building process is how to build your portfolio. And you don't have to wait for someone else to publish you. You can create your own portfolio pieces. I have a whole free article on my website, paidcopywriter.com, about how to create a portfolio from scratch with no experience. You are creating your own pieces on spec. And on spec just means that you're writing it and then submitting it versus a client assigning you something and then you writing it based on them giving you work. You're creating your own portfolio pieces. So if you don't have clients to name drop at this point, you just say, and I wrote a free guide instructing pet care owners on how to choose the best pet food for them. Whatever your niche is, you want to create a portfolio piece that you can reference in that conversation. Hey, I'm happy to share the case study or the white paper or the blog post that I wrote regarding this. And what that's doing is just saying, hey, here's the proof and here's what I can show you in terms of what I've already done in your industry. So don't let your inexperience hold you back, because it's going to be great when you can say, yes, I've written for, like for me, I'm in the tech niche. So the fact that I can say I've written for DocuSign, I've written for HP, I've written for Zapier, like these well-known tech brands, it does a lot of the heavy lifting for me. But in the beginning, when you don't have those clients to name drop, you can just say, I've written a blog post about X, Y, and Z industry. I'd love to share that with you. So that's the three components of an elevator pitch. What it comes down to at the end of the day, and what an elevator pitch actually is just a canned, summarized way to talk about who you are, what you do, and what your experience is, so that the client immediately knows that you're the right fit for them. Something clicks in their mind when they hear it laid out in that way of, yes, she's the right one. Yes, she specializes. Yes, she's done this in another capacity or for other clients. So I trust that she can do this or he can do this. So that is the number one way to go into a client call armed and ready and not feel so nervous, because you're going to know who you are, what you do, and who you do it for. And then all the other questions that they have to ask after that are going to be a lot easier, and it really will knock out a lot of the more irrelevant questions that a client could ask that could trip you up or make you even more nervous. So if you are wondering how to book these calls to begin with, you're going to want to download my free cold pitch templates about how to get on LinkedIn and send these messages so you can book the calls in the first place. Those are at paidcopywriter.com, and you'll see a free download section at the top of the screen. It's completely free, and what it is just basically screenshots of videos or of pitches that have worked for me, and pitches that I've received from other writers when I've hired other writers that have gotten me to say yes to them. It's a really valuable resource that can really get you started and get you confident with cold pitching. Good luck on these calls.